And we're
They
live.
don't like it.
Hello, everyone. This I just got a picture of Cat Molasses now.
No.
It's a horrible thing. Anyway, hello, everyone. Joining you again for the reaction. Well, just review. Or, no, actually, just reaction for MLP Season 7, Episode 10. Boy, we're going by this season fast. Join me again is I heard of Brony.
Hello, all you ponies. I am a herd of bronies. Welcome back to Let's Watch the Celestia Luna episode.
Yeah, welcome back to it, because we had originally done this, but then that was in a different time, in a different universe.
Before Cats in Molasses.
Yeah.
Well, just wait until Cats with Glasses becomes a thing, you know?
In Molasses?
In Molasses.
No, Cats with Glasses.
In Molasses. Cats with glasses in molasses. On the grass.
The Glasses and Molasses
In
by
Spain.
Dr. Ripoff.
Class? Are they taking classes?
Yes.
Where are they at?
Taking classes on grass. Anyway.
No. Yes, no. Who next? Oh no, is DC dead?
DC.
God,
Yeah. Next up is Unova.
and the clock strikes 12. Welcome to 8-Bit Reactions, in which case, prepare yourself for the ultimate game, in which, if you die in real life! Prepare yourself for Kamen Rider Kronos, as he will put an end to your mundane way of existing. And enjoy the world! It's Unova Brony here, coming here from a hype train of Kamen Rider Xaid. And let me just tell you, it is shaping up to be one of the best modern Kamen Riders I've ever seen, and I love it.
Good stuff.
Cool story, bro.
Which has more to do with this current situation than you might think.
Interesting.
Spoilers. I
Probably
haven't
not,
seen
but I
it.
have no idea.
I'd imagine it might. Everything is connected in a certain way.
Oh, God.
Time, space, the idea of infinite death. It all
My
means
internet
something.
service provider.
That is the true connection. It represents all the things because it constantly
Poor
dies
Aussies.
in the dime.
You poor Aussies.
My
Yeah, and
internet.
second, I did suffer some technical difficulties recently, and I'm like, I now suffer the same fate as everyone else now. And it hurts.
Welcome to Australia. I have the ISP on speed dial. It's like the
Oh,
most.
God. Get off the phone. I'm trying to use the internet.
Get out of my room. I'm playing Minecraft.
Hey guys, I'm trying to play Overwatch here. Trying to get the touch of my waifu here.
Oh, dear.
Moving on? Question mark.
Cadet.
Hello, everybody. I'm Cadet Richard reporting for review. Yay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sure,
Hello,
inched
reporting
away
for
from that
review.
intro. Sorry.
What did you say?
Never mind.
That's
Let's
what
step
I
away.
thought.
Don't get a red flag with this red shirt.
Okay.
Hey. Because I had something in my mind, and then it flew away, as if in warp speed.
No.
On the USS Death Star.
It hurts.
From the Lord of the Rings franchise. With
Quillo, go. Just go.
Yep.
I'm sorry. My turn. Oh, okay.
The dreams loudly and wildly propagate through the land. Their sweet harmonies resonate in the aether, casting a deep shadow on the dreamlike plaque that reads, Made in China. G'day, collaborators, and welcome to another reaction. Glad to be returning for another week, and allow me to destroy everything with bad puns and soothing voices. Question mark.
Welcome back.
Glad to be back. Next.
You freaking laugh.
Second.
Cada sincrónico la janta di la gammatin e te con le pene on the perché la dinelite montemele montemele ma vit minelite mandragmanto poco moneteta min carolin. What I just said is the most important message you will ever hear. I hope you speak French.
I can't believe Second just actually beat me in one of those introductions.
This is the second opinion, and from a critic first and defense second,
No.
we are a bunch of weirdos. Moving on.
Speak for yourself.
G.
Okay. I know for a fact we are a bunch of weirdos.
Say, parlez vous, France.
Oh, God. He says with an American accent.
Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower.
Au revoir.
Baguette. Wine.
Glass Joe.
I'll just Widowmaker the whole episode. It'll be perfect.
Do it.
It will be perfect.
Oh my.
What was that you said about Overwatch and touching waifus?
Actually, reminds me that the new event starts tomorrow.
Yes, it does. I'm so excited. We're
What new
distracted. We were distracted. I'm so excited.
All right. Is everyone ready for the episode?
I believe so,
Yes.
yeah.
All right.
Ready.
Is there an episode 10 up?
Yes.
Episode
Yeah.
10.
I'm ready.
Problem.
All right. Press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Link start.
Tire screeching sounds.
Okay, guys.
Well,
My day kind of like started with everyone else.
What?
what's up?
It didn't
My
start.
day didn't start with everyone else.
All right. Everyone's great. Go back to 0-0.
Yeah.
Wait,
Sorry.
wait.
All right.
Back to
Everyone
0-0?
ready? Yep.
All right.
Let's do it.
Press play in 3.
Oh, wait, whoa, where are we going?
0.
Oh,
Go
my
back to
God,
0.
0.
Alex. Alex.
I didn't hear you guys.
We started recording like
Bronies, and none of you heard us.
From the intro.
Oh, I get it.
So where are we
Heard
starting
us.
from?
0.
0-0.
0. Okay.
All right.
All right. And press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Tire
Oh.
screeching.
Squeaking sound.
Oh, the fan service.
The map
Sure, that's not what she
selected
looks
her.
like that. Actually, it is. Well, it's that and the fact that you're being called to the royal.
Now we all speculate
I
for a
thought that was
long
Restricted
time.
on there.
Was the original premise that only the elements of harmony can use it, or did they never care?
Well, isn't it the map of destiny or
Maybe.
something?
No.
Nervous.
Not even a
I
Destiny.
also wasn't nervous before.
Who knows what it is? It's their premise.
Don't worry.
They
For all we know,
will
it's
change it
something
at will.
small. Like maybe the cooks are fighting
can
over
and
who
will.
has the best butternut squash
At
soup.
will.
Or the royal hairdressers are fighting over a comb.
Comb.
Maybe the royal sisters aren't seeing eye to eye on something.
Oh.
Crazy. Celestia would never.
like it couldn't
That would
possibly
never
be
happen.
that.
Again.
Again.
Oh, frick.
So
Again.
the map sent you to solve a friendship problem?
Yes, princess.
That's so
There's
cute.
nothing wrong here, right, sister?
No.
Everything's perfect as usual.
Oh, no.
He's blind.
All right.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
God.
All right.
I just
boy.
find it quite, I don't know, incenting that Celestia still hasn't made an adjustment to a throne room that allows for 2 people. Luna's just kind of just off to the side.
Actually, the good
Yeah.
point.
Why is
the
best
room when I go to
princess
bed,
on the
sister.
lower rung? What is this?
It's always what we imagined for Tyrant Celestia, after all. But seriously, it's either because the entire room is just a prop, or just Celestia's too lazy.
She's seriously.
Is that you? How are you here?
Tiny Twinnet!
I'm still home. It's an easy spell. I'll show you later.
Oh, God.
About me.
What?
I had to check on you, not in a meddling kind of way, in a friendly kind of way. So, how's it going?
Not
I like the
great.
fairy.
I think the problem might be between Celestia and Luna. Oh no, that's terrible. I mean, what makes you say that?
I like it how like the rest of the friendship problems were like, we need to take half an episode to identify what exactly the friendship problem is. Or this one is just like, oh, it's Celestia and Luna, let's get on with it.
It's that big. We need the whole episode.
Oh, I wish
Yeah.
I could help you, but I can't.
Kind of like a Jared Butler
For
film, to be
bad
honest.
reasons and because I have no idea. This is
Jared
big.
Butler.
Which one's he?
But I'm here if you ever need to talk or listen to music.
Right.
Right?
Twilight is like the grandfather and master of disguise. She can't
Yep.
help.
Thank you so much for breakfast,
Guys
Princess.
thought of a better example than
Oh,
that.
Of course, Starlight.
I really want pancakes
I
now.
really enjoyed
Hell
doing
yeah.
it.
Pancakes with strawberries and whipped cream and blueberries and raspberries.
Yes.
Good morning,
Morning,
Luna.
sister.
Oh, the ice. Oh, the bags.
I'm too tired.
Just pineapple.
Last night must have been
One of the
really
filming
hard on
problem
her.
might be because she has to be.
Perhaps, but she is like this every morning.
Wow.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
The peasants could have enjoyed this.
I think Luna may be hurting her sister's feelings without even realizing it. Poor Celestia. That's so sweet that she makes her sister pancakes every morning. She's your mentor. I think you might be biased. Fair enough. So what are you gonna do?
All she said was that
Nothing.
sweet
Yet.
things are
I
sweet.
have to get all the facts.
Sweet
I
things.
asked Luna if I could
Indeed.
spend some time with her
Sweet.
this evening.
Princess Luna's waiting for you, miss.
Waiting for you. Princess Luna's waiting for you, miss.
Pretty soon we're gonna have figurines.
Intruder.
Intruder.
Wow, Princess Luna, you do this every night?
I'm surprised that
Lavender's calming scent is known to aid dreamers in achieving a restorative sleep.
Lavender's also known to arouse people.
Make sure the ponies in this castle
Oh,
How about that?
and it's also known to die in a day.
More like boring.
So she has to do this every night.
Oh, you really work hard. But as always, my sister is too busy having fun with dignitary ponies to acknowledge anything I
Oh,
do.
oh,
oh.
Bye, Alex. Oh, is
Well,
that
excuse
why he's
me,
a
princess.
Bronies? Because his last name is Heard.
Not realizing it, and instead of talking
happened?
about it, they're just getting colder and
He
more
left.
distant. And they're
He doesn't like us
Celestia
anymore.
Luna,
Oh, there
so
he
it's
is.
not like you can just confront them. Actually, that's exactly what I was gonna do. What? Are you crazy?
I dropped out of the
I
call.
mean,
But he
Aww.
is still playing.
Yeah,
All right.
but I just stopped it.
Ah, dang it.
Dang it.
Dang it!
Where
You
did you
should have
stop
kept
it?
going. Stop. Look and listen.
Oh, everyone stop at 5:30.
5:30.
5:30. Okay.
That's ahead of where we are now.
Could we play it from 5:15 because I stopped it at 5:18.
All right, 5:15.
5:15.
5:15.
Right on the
Crazy.
oops.
whoopsie.
Oh god, this is so hard.
That's what she
Just play
said.
it. No. Damn,
Phone,
I was
God.
avoiding that.
Well, somebody was going to take advantage of it. I'll me in another second.
I have
All right.
5:15.
Is
Okay.
everyone ready at 5:15?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
You do whatever you think is best.
We've come a long way from lesson 0,
Thanks
where
for believing in me,
frantic
Twilight.
Twilight was at her absolute low point.
Luna turned into
Yep.
Nightmare Moon, and Princess
Now it's like
Celestia
whenever
had
we
to
need
banish
Twilight
her
to
for
show a
1,000
quote-unquote
years.
personality
Happen
trait.
again. Well, I can't do nothing. The
Is
princesses
she?
aren't the
Is
best
Twilight
at
standing
each other.
in that pose
Sorry, it's
at
just
home,
you
or
said
is she just
princesses
controlling the
aren't
upper half of
best
her
in the
body?
same sentence, and it's making me nervous.
Ah!
I'm not much help.
What a face desk.
Face disc.
I almost feel bad eating this. It's adorable.
Pineapple and mango.
I enjoy
Or is that
this
peach?
one.
Maybe peaches.
Grumble, grumble,
That's like
grumble.
peach. She is not a morning pony.
As you both know, the map sent me here for a reason.
Why did
and
Celestia
I
look angry?
think I found out what
She,
it is.
she didn't want to disrupt
Really?
harmony.
Oh, that is wonderful, Starlight. What is
Ah.
You two.
Excuse me? Your pardon?
I think you're accidentally hurting each other's feelings without realizing it. Princess Celestia, does it bother you that Luna never notices the wonderful breakfast that you prepare for her?
Yes, it does.
Princess Luna, tell Celestia how you feel
Princess
about
is
the
not
fact that
amused.
she never acknowledges the work you
Oh,
put
no.
into lining the
Oh, no.
hallway with lavender every night.
It's not the best feeling. I'm sorry, I never noticed that you make fruit faces on
Shove.
pancakes. But not so
Shove.
long from now. You might be a morning pony, but I am half asleep. You think
Same.
I don't get tired? I'm
Dude, I'm half asleep
exhausted.
all the time.
Oh, I apologize for not noticing flowers in a wall scones, but by the time I get to retire for the night, I can barely see straight.
Because I am just
I
a
still make an
pony.
effort
I
to
make
smile.
mistakes from time to
I like
time.
smiling is
Oh!
I'm sure that's not what Princess Luna meant to say.
Is that what exhausts you? Smiling and being adored by every pony? And you have it so much worse, do you? You spend your evenings fetching around giving ponies
Oh,
lousy
no.
dreams. Oh, it
Oh my
sounds just
god.
Oh no.
Oh, she's just like you.
Don't presume to know what it is like to govern the dream realm. And yet you know exactly what it's like to be me? Oh, please.
Enough!
Oh, we know where this is going.
Oh shit!
What the-
Oh shit!
Okay!
No.
Gotcha.
You'll know exactly
How?
Oh,
what
that,
to
is,
do.
that aesthetic does not
Each
look
other.
good on
No,
Celestia.
No,
No, it
clashing
doesn't.
colors.
Oh, frick.
That's gonna be the
Okay.
worst battle predicament. The clashing colors.
I went with
Yeah.
my gut.
Switch our cutie marks back in an instant.
My
I
apologies,
wanted to
Majesties,
get a move on the
I
plot.
can't, even if I wanted to. This spell lasts 24 hours. It may have been extreme, but I think it's still
Convenient.
What?
You said it yourself.
You.
believe
Nice.
Celestia knows
Twilight
how
would
to
die.
for you.
He
So
will, mate.
this is your chance to prove it.
Well, I could use an easy day followed by a good night's sleep. You can try. I haven't had an easy day in, well, ever. So I get to sleep.
Oh my-
and
I haven't had an easy day in a few thousand years.
This is just like the comic.
Let's do this.
Good
Yeah,
choice.
this is just like that
Happy
one
you had
comic,
one.
but I think I'll leave my comments in
Bro,
there.
issue 10.
I love her face right now.
Mm.
Just the way
She's
she's
just,
like.
Move past this. It was the right call. I hope.
Are you okay in there?
I'm good. Just
Are you okay in there?
he's gonna think I'm nuts.
In multiple
He's not the
voices.
only one.
Into the
As
door.
you can
Dang.
see, Celestia and I are
Princesses, I'd like to report
today.
that Starlight might be schizophrenic.
I assure you, I am more than capable of handling all of Celestia's duties. Dismissed. So, what is first on
Well,
my
Luna will never not be
sister's
amusing.
list?
It's says you have a few public appearances. Store openings, judging the Royal Rose contest, you know, that sort of thing.
Oh, I knew today would be easy, but I didn't think it would be that easy.
Oh, that makes
Staring
Oh
at me.
no. She's usually scowling.
Oh,
come
the
on.
scissors don't work. Luna never knew there'd be problems like that.
Excuse
She
me.
has to smell too many flowers. Oh, how hard Celestia has it.
Huh. An actual decent looking normal pony for Count-a-Lot.
Hmm. Dude, like, we'll take this picture.
Oh!
Wow, that's a really bad photographer.
You are scowling.
Like,
I didn't mean to. I've been smiling all day. My cheeks hurt. I stopped for 1 second, and that's when he took the picture.
the guy couldn't take a second picture.
All day isn't
Yeah.
as you thought.
It says here that because
Ooh, the
of
color of
me,
the magic.
The school didn't
Yeah, the
recommend
colors
boys go on their
changed.
field trip.
Mm.
I didn't mean for that to happen.
Magic
I know.
equals cutie mark.
Can't dwell on that now. According to the list, some delegates are about to arrive for a luncheon. You need to dispel rumors of timberwolves in the
Some
White
of your
Town
royal
Woods.
pockets to
Nearby
fund
towns have been in
the
a state
field
of
trip.
panic for weeks.
But I have to fix this.
Ooh.
You can't. You need to put on a brave face and help these ponies. It's what Celestia would
Scowling.
do.
Oh, Celestia wouldn't mess up in the first place, Luna.
Oh no.
Oh god, the
Everybody's waiting for the return of this one.
I'm sorry.
Not the Royal
but I couldn't
Canterlot
stop
voice.
thinking about those poor students. Normally, I have all the time and solitude I need to work through my problems at my own pace.
Well, Luna really does
Your
care.
sister doesn't get that luxury. Ready for the town hall?
Oh god.
Mm.
Glad that's settled.
Oh, the wilting of those lavenders.
That got heated, didn't it?
Oh,
Oh.
jeez. Only took 3 hours.
You made it to the end of the day.
Oh, yes, I'm just going to turn in then.
She didn't get any sleep the night before either, to be fair.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah, that is true.
Starlight. I don't know about you, but I feel very well rested. Where's Luna?
Well, I gotta say though, I think I like the comic where Luna took over Celestia's job for a day a little better.
It's
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I'm gonna comment on that like after this is, but I'm gonna lean with you.
Moon raised.
Jesus Christ, how far did that moon move?
What's next?
Wow.
Well, you wiped out a whole
Wow.
continent with the tidal wave.
Yeah.
He's asleep at night. Luna works alone.
Uh-oh.
Oh, but it's nothing I can't handle. All I have to do is watch over
Little
Celestia,
hitch in the music.
visit the dream realm, and protect ponies in their nightmares. My list was 3 times as long. All right, every pony's asleep. You're talking
Yeah, it's all
to yourself,
goes.
Celestia, but there's no pony else to talk to. Yeah. Ponies in their dreams.
See, she's just like you. She's just a normal
Oh,
pony.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
It's the dreams. It's the little bubbles. I'm excited.
Wait, Baby Applejack? That was Baby Applejack.
I thought there were doors.
Maybe it's this way with her. This
She was
is
looking
her
at a statue.
interpretation of the realm.
He was looking at a statue. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, that creeps me out, man. I'm freaking out, man.
Oh God.
Alright, that was creepy.
Tell me what's wrong.
Going with my gut was the wrong call. I was supposed to bring you two closer together, but I've only driven you apart. If you two can't see why you need each other, then
I am back.
Oh god.
Is this Luna's nightmare?
Shoot.
No, it's not
I know
Luna's.
how to handle Nightmare Moon. Yes.
I've done it once before.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
What the hell?
Brandon has been waiting for
I didn't
this
realize Hasbro was reading my fanfiction.
Oh my god. Okay.
So many different ways they've brought Nightmare Moon back without actually bringing her back.
Daybreaker. The better, prettier, and
Daybreaker.
Wow, that's a terrible name.
No. To you. Deep inside you know
Oh god.
you don't need
To be honest, it's Daybreaker is a lot better than Daymare's son.
Even when
Yeah.
you were apart, I knew I needed her.
I don't know, Daybreaker sounds like some kind of a G.I. Joe villain or something.
Yeah.
Mm.
Our cutie mark is weird with the like splash.
The fire. Mm.
I should have destroyed you! No, you can't.
Oh dear.
Sun, moon, Equestria needs both of you. Without that,
Pokemon!
Well, there are worse metaphors for the two sisters arguing.
When you can have it all.
you can't get rid of me so easily, sister. Unless you plan on smiling me to smithereens.
I told you.
She does that. That's her sun-raising pose.
Oh, that like that worry in her face.
We get it.
For
You're
him.
sad.
Mm.
You could really use
I'm sad.
That's how you spit fire.
Roasted.
Extra tasty.
Gone on this mission. Now Equestria is doomed.
You do realize it's all just a dream, right?
Little bubble. Ugh.
It's obviously not real.
Oh god.
Of course, children can't make a rhyming taunt.
Oh, this is creepy.
A real one.
You want us to go on our field trip?
Oh, oh my god.
No.
Oh, that's an interesting touch.
Celestia, I'm so glad you're.
Oh god.
Stolen.
Rip.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot, but I haven't seen this before. It's Starlight Glimmers. She's afraid this is what would happen if we continue to fight.
Yeah.
Yes, Starlight's nightmare.
Yes, it is.
If you don't fix this soon, it could have a grave consequence on Starlight's psyche.
Starlight
My magic
had a
isn't
nightmare
powerful.
about fan
If
service.
we work together, magic, remember? It doesn't work in the dream realm. It has to be
Not
you.
sure if that entirely would be a
I
nightmare.
can't do this. I was your job is so incredibly
Alright, I'll
hard.
stop.
To battle nightmares and work in the darkness and do it all alone.
I guess it depends on who you are
Pony to do what you do.
and what Starlight's imagination is like.
In your shoes. I thought all you had to do was smile and be adored all the time, but I was wrong. There is so much more to it than that.
Hey, look, it's the sun-raising pose.
Oh shoot.
Oh no.
Fire!
Oh, Daybreaker's powers are pretty cool at least.
Yeah, something's on fire.
Trust in your strength, as I do.
I think I found a pony with Nightmare Moon now.
Fire. Burn, burn, burn.
I'm everything
Oh, magic is red.
you want to be. No, you're not. You are not real, and you will never exist again.
You would have to exist in the first place, though.
No, really.
Well,
I forbid
you just
anybody
think
from
of
dreaming
someone.
about you
So
ever
technically,
again. We're not allowed to write any more fan fiction about evil Celestias.
Yeah.
Really happening? Or is this still a dream?
Technically, it's still a dream, but yeah, it is
Welcome
happening.
back, sister. I know you had
It's
a
both.
life, so I made you
It's
some
enough.
pancakes.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
They're all brown.
nice.
Oh.
That face. Oh, meme face.
I know that face. They're not. I know you have to be perfect for every pony else, and you do an amazing
Apparently, younger
job.
sisters just
Don't
can't
have to
bake
do
in
it for me.
Equestria.
I guess not.
They
It's toast.
Well,
Practice.
Applejack is technically a younger sister.
Oh, but it means a lot. to me.
Oh yeah.
I love you, sister.
This is a lot better than the premiere.
So, this was real. Or was it not real? And this just happened
Is
now?
this still a
and
dream?
Not
Inception.
a dream? I'm so
Is
confused.
Is this still a dream?
It's all real. It was the right
Pet.
call going with your gut. The map was wise to send you, Starlight. No pony else would have been so bold as to do what you did.
That's a nice way of saying
Mess
I
up
came dangerously
everything.
close to messing everything up.
It was just
Hey.
what we needed. The experience has made us closer than ever.
Wait, I'm not doing this.
Imagine if it didn't work, like stopped halfway, and then they're both moon
I
ponies.
believe that one means
Oh,
your mission
jeez.
is complete.
Well,
Turns out we're
that
both
move
Lunas.
got your way after all.
I mean,
No,
so this is just a because I was
Spike's
I
brush.
wasn't. I'm so proud. Tell me everything. Start from after I
Is that a spike brush?
Wow. All right.
Waka waka waka.
By the way, there's a field trip you need to make happen and a Timberwolf issue you need to address. What? Oh, look, there's the sun. Time for me to turn in.
Wow.
Oh my god, that was so awesome.
There's way too much going on in that.
Alright. So, thoughts?
I loved it.
There it is.
Alex.
Okay.
Immediately.
Well,
Oh man, I'm freaking out, man. I'm freaking out, man.
That was a really big surprise, and the fact that it turned out actually very well. Well, not as well in depth as certain things, but you know what? I don't care anymore. This is the episode of the series. Oh my god! Giving me like the best flashbacks of like that season 5 finale, even though it felt like disappointment. Like it felt like, oh god, that's good. It was good. It was great.
This is what the series needed so much.
Yes. Yes. And it felt a lot more realistic for Celestia to act this way, like in comparison to like say the season 7 premiere. Because even though it was like, oh, I'm just like a pony like everybody else, this one had more moments in which it felt like that actually could be Celestia just not using that mask anymore. And I'm just like, okay, I can fully believe it. I can fully believe season 1 Celestia would act like this when the camera's not shown at her. But I did think she would be like uncomfortable not having a pony to talk to. Like, oh my God.
Well, you know
Well,
how,
I mean,
how she was
she's been
talking to
surrounded-
herself and what was that other the premiere?
Yeah.
Yeah, where she was talking about Twilight and having to
Yeah.
send her away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wait, the premiere, the season 7 premiere, or what?
Yeah, season 7 premiere.
When she was doing the flashback.
Wait a minute.
I suppose
Yeah.
with Celestia being surrounded by everyone for the
Maybe all
past
the time.
1,000 years.
Yeah. Because she's daytime.
Also, the season 4 premiere also had her talking a bit by herself. So that was showing an action scene, but hey, actually kind of makes a bit more ground for that flashback to be as canon as possible.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm just watching, like going through like the dreams, catching some like interesting bubbles.
But the bubbles!
I think we actually have the confirmation of what I think we already have the confirmation of what AJ's parents' color coats are.
Mhm.
Yeah, because we have baby AJ and like the in between two like out of focus a mare and a colt.
Mm-hmm.
Did not notice.
So it's-
I'm gonna-
Yeah, so it's probably her dreaming about her parents when she was a baby.
Oh, yeah.
no!
There's a green, there's a greenish pale color for a stallion, so that's her father, and then a creamish maybe, I don't know. There's the blue's kind of messing it up a bit, but creamish sort of color for the mother. So
Like
that's interesting.
beige.
There's also, I
Beige-ish.
think, a possible Doctor Who reference
Yes,
looks like-
there's a Doctor Who reference there. In the
Because
bubble,
of
and he's
what?
looking fearfully at a statue. Weeping angels are real.
And then there's Queen Derpy.
Oh, yeah, I saw
Who's
that.
the
on
Queen
there. I need to
Harpy?
go back and look at this. Let me
there was
see.
a dirty one.
It's 13, hang on, 54 or something like that. 1350. Yeah, that's 1353. Go back to 1353. This is Dr. Who. He's in a maze and he's looking at a statue.
And
Oh,
apparently
feel free.
Cadence wants her. Apparently
Flurry
Cadence
had to
wants
be a
her.
DJ.
Yeah.
Now, is that Cadence's dream or Flurry's dream?
But just to
One
sort of
Clem
offer
Brothers.
my thoughts on this episode, I thought it was good, but the one thing that keeps me from saying it was great is just I feel the first half was done so much better in the comics. Like it actually justified like Luna being like, "Oh, this is really challenging." Here, it really felt like they're really not pushing hard enough about the challenges of Celestia's life and the her daily duties.
Well, I suppose the difference is that with the comic, you have a lot more time to flesh out that sort of thing because it doesn't need to be constrained to a 22-minute series. And the comic only stayed with Luna doing Celestia's job, right? It didn't. I haven't actually read the comic, but it was Luna doing Celestia's job, and was Celestia also doing Luna's job, or no?
No, it was just showing her at a spa.
That's why I said the first half.
Yeah, she had the day off, but yeah, I mean, well, I mean, but people make that argument a lot, like, oh, it's only 22 minutes, but I mean, there's the saying that editing is the heart of writing. I mean, even if you only have 2 scenes, I mean, you could like take the time to come up with more than she can't cut a ribbon or.
Yeah, that's the one that like made me go like really like she can't like cut like
yeah.
And then like the smiling thing you're trying to really force like because the comic did a very good job of showing like it was felt very this one just felt forced. And like and that's what I said. It wasn't necessarily bad, it just felt like distracting. It's like when you actually have seen something better and you see like I guess it's sort of like how when you see a Disney adaptation of like an animated movie, like a live action version, where it's like the live action version is not bad, but like the original animated version was just better. So it's distracting to the new version. I guess is a good way to say it.
I would actually like to argue something like about the first part. I honestly felt like even though they quite simplified a lot of things that were shown in that Luna Micro, it might have shown another side a lot more prominent than like the wordy like actual difficulty. Like I felt like they got the general emotion of it. Like I didn't feel distracted with like the whole she unable to open like a stuff with like scissor for like say opening a restaurant or such. I saw more of a pony that usually is by themselves or like say with like just another pony in the dreamscape, just essentially dealing with constant hustle and bustle, always trying to emit that very constant positive personality that even at the end of it all, it's like, oh my God, my cheekbones hurt. Like there are people who can't smile like that. Like it's like
the thing is you don't have to smile. Like that's a very like cliche thing. It's like you don't see the royal family in like England, like they don't smile all the time. It's like you don't like you smile when people are taking photos. You don't like constantly for 24 hours keep a smile up.
Did you expect the Queen to know that?
Good old Queen.
I mean, like having to smile too Let's see. It's too much of a workout. My cheeks hurt too much. I mean, that's like. I mean, granted, like smiling till your cheeks hurt. We've all had that, but I feel like that's not the most relatable of like main conflicts of everything you could have had to deal with. I mean, like what you just described, Unova, sounds like more interesting than intrigues me a lot more than what I actually felt watching the episode. Because I mean, wow, I felt like I got a taste of some of it, like how she cares so much about the school ponies and can't get her mind off that, or how she's like as a gag, at least her
not being very good at smiling was very Luna and everything, but otherwise, I felt like they were trying to
really
scam up a conflict more than they were trying to emphasize it.
I just I mean, like, it might be just me, like, me imprinting like a lot of introspective stuff into like this conflict for like the first half, but it just felt like you can actually glean some of those things, and I feel like it does. This episode does a lot of things better than some of the recent episodes of recent seasons, like the mid-season finale for season 5 with the Luna episode, because I just feel like it's a lot more stronger of a set piece for that episode because, well, let's see. I just felt like both characters shown like comparative with each other, that it feels a lot more like we're actually seeing both of them. Like at first they're acting like Celestia is very convincing with like her display of like constantly being like regal elder presence and such. Like, and I was just waiting for like when that would turn on a dime. And then when Starlight has the balls to essentially like say the problem out front to them, that's when I see like it just like majorly impressed me, like that it felt very natural to me. And maybe I'm just very optimistic and I'm okay with like some of the simplification. Not to say it was because of time restraints or that they couldn't take too much from the comic. I'm just, it's like this episode felt like it's very easy for like anyone to just watch and actually feel entertained from a basic understanding, because like I was looking at it both as a reviewer and as a common watcher at the same time with these two regal ponies, and it just shot my expectations to the roof. Like I never had such an experience like this before, even if it's like a common and true plot. But hey, it's one of those topics that I really like get a buzz about, because that's the sort of gimmick I like. God.
But just I feel like overall this episode is good, but like I said, the thing that just distracted me is the Luna part just felt weaker than the rest of it. But this is where I said the weird thing is, because usually when we say there's a problem with the episode, like it's usually the first half is good, it's the second half that gets bad. This time it's like the other way around, where like I felt the second half was stronger than the first. Because I feel it did do a good job of showing like Luna, like Celestia being like, oh snap, this is how, like, this is what Luna does every night, and there's like her clearly establishing that Celestia is an extrovert and is not comfortable sort of working by herself.
I was about to comment on that. Like no joke. Yeah. The amount of like she just, as soon as she realized, she's like, right, every pony else is asleep. And she's like, but that's not a problem, it'll be fine. Like she has to convince herself that it'll be okay to be alone. To like sweep it under, just like she normally does in her regular day. You know, trying to make it okay. But I'm
fairly certain that I'm fairly certain that the what Celestia and Luna was going through, their thoughts and feelings at the time, could be exactly what the other person was feeling when they were just starting out. So it could be that, you know, it's kind of like a revisiting on their less experienced selves, but as experienced from the other person. Because I mean, smiling all day does take a lot of practice, and if Celestia doesn't get the chance to not smile every day, the being alone bit, so it's very good for that instance.
I would also like to say something about like when Second mentioned during the second half of the episode, like, is this really going to cause problems for Equestria? Like, I don't think that was it. Well, a part of it was like only just a tiny bit, just because of like from that same episode of like for like the season 5 midquel, like just the whole thing about like the Tantabus being like, oh, a creature from dreams like could have potentially entered into Equestria. Like, not to say like these things would have, like, because there was just like new ideas, but
not exactly sure.
I think the episode just kind of wanted to gloss over that this wasn't actually going to hurt anybody if they didn't defeat
Actually,
Daybreaker
no.
right then and
You
there.
know, Luna did say, Luna. I will have to rebut you on that second, because Luna did say that if you do not fix this problem, it would severely damage her psyche. So
I know,
Luna's
that's like
job
they're trying
is
to, like,
keeping
kinda-
all the
yeah,
ponies.
Wait.
Yeah,
did he
But it's
actually
a very
come back?
understandable thing.
Yeah,
If someone
she
gets
did,
lost
like-
in a nightmare for too long, they will not be able to,
If somebody has
Their-
a dream
their
about
psyche
two
will be damaged.
ponies fighting with
That
awesome
said,
magic lasers for too long.
Okay.
I mean,
okay,
I
that
think
actually-
like
And if
I
it's
think
So,
it was one
okay.
of those
fault,
things where they were trying to.
I definitely disagree with you on that second. It's not necessarily the fact that they're fighting with the magic. It's the internal struggle that Starlight is the one that caused the problem. That's
but
what
fan service
what they're
Daybreaker
focusing
appearing and fan service Daybreaker appearing and having a big taunting smackdown with Nightmare Moon is usually not what somebody imagines when they're having a psychological breakdown. Like I feel like that was not what they were focusing,
That
what
is-
they were zeroing in on there.
I actually did
But-
feel
Like
that
there.
was justified, because I'm one to not complain when a fight is unjustified, because I will complain the crud about the one that happened, like the flashback to Celestia and Luna, like Celestia and Nightmare Moon's fight, because that made no sense to be there in that episode. Here, I feel it is justified because that is sort of the biggest fear of Starlight, that she'll basically either not fix the problem and it'll lead to them like Nightmare Night round 2 or Daybreak round 1 situation.
Well-
And
Well, I mean, she said her fear was not solving the problem. I mean,
but
I'm
I'll
pretty sure it
also have to
was-
put another little metaphor in there for you. Second, imagine if you were chosen as a diplomat between America and Russia, and then you mess up and nukes go flying. What would that do to you?
if I saw what I have a nightmare about, Harrison Ford is the president and whoever's the perfect guy to play Putin having this epic scale debate of great acting and like perfect thing for a movie geek. I mean,
Still.
I feel like it would involve a lot more like
Not more theatrics.
a lot less of that and a lot more I don't know, people care about burning up or something like that. I mean, I don't know. It's like have it like, as far as the fan service goes, having your cake and eating it too, it can be tough sometimes. And I mean, I guess I appreciate that this episode voiced out both, but I mean, actually, I guess to kind of reverse Unova's metaphor, I bought it a lot more in Do Princess's Dream of Magic Sheep because, all the fan service there, they don't start with the fan service, they start with the need for it. Like everybody draws power from seeing themselves as the best they could possibly be, as their most positive image of themselves, and then from that they turn into all these awesome things. About that a lot more, about Luna's conflict. It wasn't at the end all of this stuff happening means her worst fear is finally coming true. It was they took her to that point over the course of the entire episode. So I mean, I'm not saying it's just total BS. Okay, Starlight would not be having a breakdown or something, or this dream could do no damage, but I felt like it was kind of shoehorned in, at least.
For me,
I felt like other episodes have built it up better and gotten more emotional weight out of it because of that.
I feel like this has been part of Starlight's character since the beginning, because we've seen her have that sort of white noise thing where she's freaking out about the going back to the town, or going to see what's his face,
Sunburst.
Thank you, Sunburst. Going to see Sunburst. We've seen her sort of have that sort of freak out moment, and I talked about it when we had reviewed it, that I was like, this is the type of social anxiety that I can relate to. It takes over in a certain way that you aren't able to necessarily fight because you've been with it so long, and it's something that you kind of just, it builds itself up and you don't know how you got there, but you don't know how to fix it either. So with Sunburst, that happened. And then with her dreaming about the town, that also happened. But impacting this tenfold because they are the people that raise the sun and moon and have control over a lot of stuff. Like, it feels like it makes sense in terms of how she was dreaming about them and how that type of reaction would have that effect on the psyche.
If one of the characters in the big old death fight can bring the sun to the earth, I'm not sure if necessarily the grass would appreciate that.
The sun is on the move every single day.
I want to feel your warmth, not your fire. Please,
But,
please.
Okay, but well, I always say like never interchange the idea of something with the actual thing. So okay, you guys got all of that to the best, most compelling extent possible, from Celestia dropping in on Starlight's Nightmare, and then abruptly getting Nightmare Moon and Daybreaker duking it out, and an offhand line from Luna: if we don't stop this, it will destroy her psyche.
Okay, guys, since you guys mentioned that, may I have a moment to fangasm right now?
Okay.
We can't contain him any longer.
Persona 5 doesn't even better to freaking Season 5! Like, holy shit! I can't believe it!
There it goes. Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
We
there he
lost
goes.
him.
We've lost him.
He's gone.
But,
Too far gone.
We have to put him down.
Oh no.
But the one thing
the
only problem I sort of had with the second half is I feel the moral was I feel the moral wasn't properly stated in was sort of dangerously stated, because the overall moral was don't fear to trust your gut. That's not really a good moral. There should be some sort of restraint put in there, especially for Starlight. Starlight trusting her gut all the time is not a good thing.
I mean, if she got that moral, then we're pretty much fucked.
I don't know if that was the moral, but I felt like that was the excuse. The map sent Starlight because it knew she would bring the element of impetuousness.
I think there's a difference between don't be afraid of trusting your gut and always trust your gut.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I don't feel they properly stated it, where it felt like it could have just been a few little lines. Just as Savage said, just because I feel that is sort of a dangerous moral, especially with Starlight. But it's as we've been already shown in other episodes, her gut reaction is not always good, including half the time, including brainwashing.
I don't know if this counts as defending the episode, but was that even the moral? Because I feel like Celestia and Luna were more the ones who the Starlight being impetuous. I felt like that was just the episode's excuse to get the conflict going. She knew it was a bat maybe extreme, but she can't change it back, and she still technically thinks this will help. So just shut up and go with it.
I kind of feel like trusting your gut and acting on impulse are two different things as well, which is what she did that caused the episode to start. Trusting her gut was telling them what they were doing wrong. The impulse was enacting the cutie mark swap.
Didn't she explicitly said, I went with my gut?
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she said they've said that 2 or 3 times. We talked about that's what I was saying. I felt that was sort of I think there's sort of 2 morals here. One was just basically the friendship moral, where it's basically going down someone else's shoes for the sisters. But the other moral was for Starlight, what she was learning was that she has to trust her gut at times. It's just sort of her nightmare situation was about, where she was freaking out because she trusted her gut, and she believed she started Pony Civil War 2. I want to say World War 3, but it does not fit in this situation at all.
No. Literally how Pokemon Sun versus Pokemon Moon in actual pony combat. Which one is the
Well,
am I the only one though who kind of thought
we should replace all of the lines said by both characters by Daybreak, and Nightmare Moon, and then it can really be Pokemon.
Oh gosh.
Oh god.
No. With subtitles.
Who are you? Daybreak. Daybreaker.
Nightmare Moon.
Moon. Nightmare.
Nightmare.
So wait, does that mean with the magic orb around her, it has? Yes, I caught a nightmare moon.
Daybreak.
Name your legendary.
Daybreak, I choose you.
Oh, jeez.
Daybreak is just legendary Celestia.
Well, that's the thing.
Celestia's mega form.
Yeah, that's
Dang
the one
it.
thing. This is a little minor nitpick. I felt like the name Daybreak would have been better than Daybreaker. Like minor nitpick.
But the thing is that Daybreak can work well as a pony name, just a normal pony name. Like Nightmare Moon isn't a common name, but it still fits with the ponies, things and like that, and it does like it incorporates knights and mares as well, and the moon as well. So that's Daybreak on its own can just be some pony that's really sunshiny and happy sort of thing. But Daybreaker specifically refers to breaking stuff. So it's basically just saying I am the sun and I break things.
Yeah. I mean, like if Nightmare Moon, well, at least as far as in concept, like if Nightmare Moon felt like the MFing T-Rex from Jurassic Park, Daybreaker felt like the Spinosaurus. Wait, we've got something even bigger.
Wait, why you said Spinosaurus? Don't you mean in
The Andromeda Rex?
Jurassic Park 3, the dinosaur that looks like Daffy Duck's beak after it's been shot. Wait, isn't this new and awesome?
Check out this experiment.
Yeah.
I created experiment 627. Leroy!
Oh, jeez.
He's red.
But I guess we can just go around collecting everyone's final thoughts in the episode.
Final thoughts.
Yeah,
I loved it.
it was great. I liked it.
Okay.
I thought
Everyone
it was-
is going to hate me
I would
so
like to
much.
see-
Because, okay, like, as much as, I mean, I gave the Luna bit some flack, but to be clear, I think Luna was the good part of this episode. Like, I
would like to have seen more dream stuff. I would like to have seen more dream stuff. Like if she went on a roundabout way, and then Starlight was with her, and then she noticed that Starlight was acting a bit strange, and then she went into her dream or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's just because I like Luna as a character, but I mean, I thought that she was fun here, just kind of being herself. With Celestia, on the other hand, I mean, I know I said in Celestial Advice that, okay, it's kind of their right to make her this way at this point. The other seasons passed on her just, but this was just like so aggressively. See, she's just like you. It's like, I mean, you can tell like almost from the start, even the way they have her deliver her more regal, composed side, that this episode doesn't actually see her as that. And I mean, like, then no coincidence that this is written by the same people, Joanna Lewis, Christine Sonko, as Celestial Advice, and they seem to very much like the idea of Celestia's like composed side being an act of it being totally fake. And I might not even mind the way they make her instead if like I got any consistent sense of character out of that, or any compelling sense of character. But it's like every time they do it, like the end of Make New Friends but Keep Discord, where she turns into Granny Pinkie Pie, or the what Slice of Life, where she's fighting with Luna. They're just typical sisters, or Celestial Advice, where it's like, see, she didn't know, or she was totally just like a nervous mother, or this, where she's now a sister who, but like the only thing that all of those things have in common is that they're she's composed and dignified and perfect. Like I feel like the most compelling like inside scoop we ever got of Celestia, or at least the idea for one, was in the comics again, where she teams up with Spike, and we see that like, okay, it's still the Celestia we knew before, but like filled in how, okay, it's like she's done this so long, she's just kind of ahead of the curve. Like she knows that nobody understands how she feels about this stuff, and that she would appreciate going out and having adventures, but like, just, I mean, kind of like seeing the thought process that goes on behind the not even the facade, because like it's not a facade, but just from like the fact that nobody really is on her level. I mean, that's kind of what happens when you are the only one who can do the most important job for 10,000 years. Which,
it's only been 1,000.
However long it was.
1,600, I believe, is the number.
So there we go. I mean,
I personally
like,
don't see a problem with her characterization in this.
Yeah.
Because we've already established that she's not necessarily like the god of this place, because they can make alicorns.
But it's definitely a voice of Celestia that hasn't really been. Well, I mean, we haven't seen that much Celestia at all in like seasons 1, 2, 3. But there's a difference in voice for Celestia when she's acting all regal, and then when she's being Celestia behind the crown or under the crown. I don't know.
Well, I know that like that's the idea that okay, we don't get to know we haven't gotten to know the real Celestia, but I mean, well, for one, like I feel like from what we saw of her before, they did at least hint at the kind of character she really was, and I thought that, like I said, the comic with Spike, I thought fleshed out really well what that would be, and like this, I mean, it like I said, it just seems like when they do stuff like this, it's just like what is this Celestia like? I mean, like, you guys get a consistent sense of character out of this Celestia?
Yeah, I do.
Which is,
I like her.
Yeah.
Which is,
she loves life.
That she's a pony.
She's a pony.
She's an alicorn pony that happens to have a cutie mark that raises the sun.
She's a jovial extrovert that very much is acclimated with a lot of things.
Well, I mean, we got the extrovert part because in that she's the opposite of Luna, but I mean, like, what was the rest of you, Nova?
I said a jovial girl who can enjoy a lot of laughs and some like pranking, but there's also the way that she conducts herself professionally with like
you're going off make new friends but keep Discord for the laughs and pranks thing.
In a sense, and also the fact that
there's also the one where she visited Ponyville and she was playing the prank on Mr. Cake. Gotcha.
That's season 1. I'm talking about this. What sense of character do you get out of this Celestia?
Well,
I mean, this Celestia is still the previous Celestia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Celestia.
It's just a different side of it we haven't seen before.
That's what I'm saying. What is this side like?
Okay, she's basically someone who feels at ease, like doing like the common thing that she usually does in her ritual, like 1,000 years that she's prepped herself up, and then going into something completely different, like the sisters' duties that were unattended in 1,000 years, and it's just basically a fish in a very large tank of water.
Oh, he's dying.
I'm dying.
No.
I'm dying.
Okay, there you go.
The
audio, like, you started to slow down for me, and I was like, what's going on?
No.
Is he dying?
No.
He's dying.
I can't die before I give my final thoughts.
No. Well, I mean, like, yeah, every time you guys get to the part of, like, the side of Celestia, this quote-unquote side of Celestia we see in, like, this episode, Celestial Advice.
I thought we were giving final thoughts.
Yeah.
Why are we still talking in circles about this?
I mean, seriously,
well, I mean, we are talking.
Well, are you going to just let me have that point? Or are you going to just let me be the douchebag talking trash on this?
I mean, it's your natural state.
Oh, well, that never stopped you from testing me before.
Wow.
You say that like I'm going to be like I'm surprised you think it.
Nah. I just like that I got that reaction out of everybody. Because they know it's true.
So,
Air horns.
I speak my final thoughts about this episode?
Yes.
Oh,
Speak
I
your
mean,
final
just like-
thoughts, Unova, please.
Yes.
All right.
Just don't pop the microphone.
Yeah,
Okay,
don't die.
Don't worry. It's not going to be a fangasm this time. It's actually going to be something very constructive about this season, and what I feel like this episode clearly shows. For one, these writers can't do the moral, like, upstanding, all-rounded characters like Applejack or the old Celestia, as second mention. It's been very much been proven, like, especially from like season 6 and such, in which from some reviewers they mentioned that it only highlighted Applejack's negative point, even to like to help a problem and such, which that actually was kind of like more apparent now you think about it. But for like what season 7 is doing right now with like Celestia, at first I was kind of like on second side with like how Celestial Advice was in, because I was like, okay, they're just gonna do this and it's just gonna be one off. They're just gonna have Celestia be like, I reveal my grand scheme and such, that it was all a facade and such. And that was just gonna be it. This episode led me otherwise. It led me to think that like these new character traits, it does not tarnish the image that we had of old Celestia. It's somewhat of like something new, like how Luna was portrayed in season 2, even though she wasn't really explored that much from season 1 because of Hasbro. It feels like Celestia's finally had this moment, and I can't believe what I'm about to say. She is now my favorite princess now.
Really?
Hell yeah.
I am serious. This episode did the impossible. I now love Celestia more than Luna.
Oh, dang.
Dun dun dun.
Me, everyone. I have joined the Solar Empire. But anyway, but it just feels like this episode, like, if they continue on with this and maybe give some positive highlight to Applejack's character, maybe like interject something in order to help Applejack's character, like they did for Luna and Celestia recently, this might help extend the lifetime of the show and make sure we don't have any dead weight characters like holding us back, since some of the writers can't really write for like who seem to be like very grounded characters. They always need to write for like someone spontaneous, like how they display Twilight in this episode. I didn't hate her. In fact, it actually reminded me of Lesson 0. And I felt happy. I did not hate Princess Twilight. Like, she didn't feel annoying. She didn't feel overbearing. She felt like the normal Twilight from before Alquination and even afterwards in season 4. And even though it's just supposed to be only Starlight going on this friendship journey, which I'm kind of like, oh, they didn't really do like a retcon. It was just like, it's just map. We basically, it does whatever it wants. It has the power of destiny or whatever. Like the fact that like, even though Starlight was sent by herself and Twilight was shown to be like overwatching her students, so to speak, kind of made me feel a lot more for their student-teacher relationship than season 6. But then again, we already mentioned that to death already. But also, I felt like this episode was like one of the best episodes, even over like some of the episodes from like season 5 and 6. Like, I felt like this episode was even better than Amending Fences. Like, in a way that it was like bringing up continuity, bringing up the laughs, using like the comics in order to try to make a storyline, but did it a lot more better than Princess's Dream of Magic Sheep, in which, while that story was focusing more of like the Nightmare Rarity for like inspiration, this was using the Luna Micro, and it ran with it for both sides. And I just couldn't stop myself enjoying it. Like, it's one of those times in which I have so much to talk about this episode, but I have to contain myself because I really need to find a really good forum for me to discuss all my thoughts about this episode, and also geek out about the Persona bits that are a lot more apparent here than even like that Apple Bloom episode from season 5, which even though it brought out the shadow idea, it's like, this is even better because it's like actually related to like some of the gaming I've been playing recently. And to have that, and also, by the way, if like a Starlight's psyche were to break, I believe it would have been worse than the season 5 finale in terms of how extreme she would have gotten from going all crazy.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
You don't want her mind to break out of all these ponies because she's the type that could even manipulate even the princess's cutie mark magic for 24 hours. Just imagine that for a crazy
She's got
terrorist.
destiny magic on her side.
Yeah. And so, like, that was the mortal danger I felt for Equestria. It felt even worse than even Luna's Tantabus getting out. Just,
Yeah.
that would just be the end of Equestria. The apocalypse timeline would have become true. If that
All because Luna said permanent damage to her psyche one time.
Yes! It's as simple as that.
Well, I mean, it's not that point, so it's the fact of the permanent damage. It's not that just Luna said it, therefore it's real. It's the fact that it's real, therefore Luna said it.
Isn't that the same thing?
Well, no.
No.
Like, the first iteration is Luna says that it will damage her psyche, so therefore it will damage her psyche. The second iteration is it will damage her psyche, so therefore Luna said it will.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, but like compare that to like, well, I mean, I'm just going off of but comparing this to the Tantabus, like an entire episode, like exploring how this thing got so strong bit by bit, and like why it plays off of Luna this way, and how her psyche has fed it for so long, and then exactly like how powerful it is for demonstrated firsthand, and what it will do to Equestria, all compared to Starlight.
Starlight's psyche being permanently damaged is only speculation as to what could happen, but the Tantabus did have an exact demonstration as to its abilities. And of course, since the Tantabus was an amalgamation of what Luna had created to punish herself for her misdeeds, then it would obviously be a hell of a lot worse if the Tantabus had escaped. But it's Starlight's psyche being permanently damaged. There is no definite this will happen if her psyche will be damaged. Just that it's probably best to avoid her psyche being damaged because of these possible reasons. She could probably.
I mean, it's certainly not a pleasant thought, but but I'm saying just okay, compared to the Tentament, this is what I always worried about, the fan base building things too big because because the idea of it is either so cool or because but you could interpret it like this. I mean,
I mean, speculation keeps the fandom alive.
That's true, but I'm okay, letting credit run away with. I'm okay, I don't know if I could give it so much credit as to say, oh, the Tantabus had nothing on this, or this is the most weighty, significant, serious problem they've ever confronted in the Nightmare Realm.
That's not what we're saying.
That's not what he said.
That's not what you said, but that is what Unova said. He kind of he said that. Along the lines of that, the Tantabus had it could be even more significant than the Tantabus.
What were you saying?
What I was gonna try to say is that, for one, I'm not going for that same fandom we get out of control of our ideas for what we want to happen, and if it doesn't happen, we get really disappointed and blame the episode for not doing that. What I'm trying to say is that the reason why I even imagined such an idea is because we got evidence this season of how disastrous Starlight is with emotional magic, with the second episode alone showing that just her containing her anger and that left unchecked could cause ponies to be controlled by said anger to assault the target. Imagine a broken pony.
Wait, this is the season that introduced that?
Yes. Yeah, well,
Starlight letting her emotions run away with her and doing damage. This is the season that put that on the table.
Well, no, but we've seen
using
an
that
additional
as an example because it's an actual episode that exists.
I
Yeah,
mean, he
we've
said
seen
that
the
we've
visual
seen
effect of
that
her
in
emotions running wild.
this season. I'm like, that's where I'm like,
It's not the introduction.
He's talking
Matt.
about the episode that introduced that, like,
well, he's talking
anger
about that
side.
episode, but he said that like
The
it's
containing of the anger. He specified what he was talking about.
well, he said because
an
this season has
example.
introduced that. I'm like, well, it's that exactly
Now you're
what you meant.
nitpicking like exact wording.
So,
Seriously?
but
He's no.
well,
that's
I mean,
what
I'm
you're
like trying
doing.
to, I'm trying
Listen
to get
to
straight
yourself.
what the
This is
argument.
exactly what you're doing. You're
I'm trying to
picking
get
the
straight here what
exact
the argument
word.
is.
He said
Here.
overall that it was the episode in this season that introduced her containing her anger and what that applied to in that episode, attacking like actual ponies, taking them over and using them to attack the target that the anger was at. That's what he said.
So the cutie matter.
And through that speculation
Oh my
that
God.
we use,
Well, I mean,
in order to
I don't
like-
want to like argue, like make this a three-way argument. On no, this is what Unova meant. No, this is so you know.
He literally said that.
And it's through that speculation of that effect is why we consider that Starlight having a damaged psyche would be a bad thing,
Yeah, and I'm
Yes.
also
or the entirety of Equestria.
And I'm also sort of using a bit of outside material from like Persona 5 to mention another way they could have shown it is a lot more simpler. The fact that she has a mental shutdown and she sort of becomes comatose. That's what would happen. That's another possibility of what would happen if Starlight.
A
gets-
possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a possibility. All
Yeah.
of this is still in the realm of speculation.
And it's somewhat reasonable considering how extra they go with like Starlight here. That's what I'm saying. I kept it as realistic as possible because I hate those types of fans that just overblown fan topics, like you said, second. Like I would never do that. I always keep my expectations realistic, which is why I just went with like the most possible yet most extreme example of what would happen if her psyche got broken. That's why I was still very much excited from this episode. So that's why I went with that first.
Yeah, well, I mean, to clarify, the reason I said that is like because I'm like trying to caution against going down the same kind of rabbit hole, as it were, like getting. Yep. Well, this episode was the best one because it made me think that, well, if this is a possibility, then they could take the story here, then they could take the story here, then they could take. I'm just like, that's what I'm saying. Focus on what it did is all I meant by that.
Okay.
And-
With
Okay.
that, I completely understand. Like I definitely see the episode for what it does as well, and I'm still super enthusiastic about it. Like to just quickly end my final thoughts, this episode deserves a top tier rating from me for the season. And I think it might even top Equestria games for me. I'm saying that like it might be easy, but that's my favorite episode. So yeah, Starlight, you after all the controversy from season 5's ending to now, you helped bring out one of the best episodes I've ever seen from the series. I thank you so much. And I also thank Twilight for being over the protective mentor shown at the end, because that's probably like one of my favorite ending gags ever now. Just like, oh, Twilight, you better tell me everything that happened here.
Her facial changes were fantastic. The animation.
Twilight was being
And have your spike themed toothbrush.
Twilight was
say,
being very
Spike toothbrush.
very protective as she was in No Second Francis.
But it felt more natural and less cringy.
It did
like,
feel better in this than it did in Second Francis.
like No Second Francis feels a lot like Some Pony to Watch Over Me, and how bad it felt with like the overprotective mentor / parent.
Blasphemy.
This, on the other hand, was like that done completely right and all to Twilight streams from like Zero and Beyond. Oh, actually, no, more like that Phoenix episode from season 1 and beyond. Because yeah.
All right. Trying to get move to other final thoughts. So who has not gone yet?
Well, I mean, I can wrap up my final thoughts, but then you go to the bathroom.
I think most of us was just it's good. Yeah.
Really good. Yeah, it's I like it. It's a good episode. It's a nice view behind the royal mask to see what the daily life of Luna and Celestia is and how they affect the opposing person. It's nice to see an outside view. It's good to see it from Starlight's perspective.
I have a problem with almost every single thing in this episode. B-.
Oh! Ah!
Oh,
Public school.
That's right, a B-. The lowest grade I have ever. Wait, no, it's not even that. Okay. It was.
It was good.
Fun.
It's good.
The only problem is that I haven't seen Star Swirl yet.
0 out of 10, no Star Swirl.
No Star Swirl. Worst episode ever.
Cadet, do you have anything else?
Well, I'm trying to think. Overall, I thought it was really good. Let me see. Trying to think of like what I had said previously in the hour we've been talking. Starlight getting called by the map was kind of a spur out of nowhere for me, because I wasn't sure if that was the effect from the season 5 finale or if it was just a connection to like the fact that she's become one of the main 7, quote unquote, now.
All she needs is her own throne.
Yeah, she needs her own throne now. At the table, because that's where the map is.
Yeah.
So I liked a lot of the like background details for this. A lot. Like
the dream bubbles. The dream
bubbles. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I've drawn a picture before in like October where Luna was making a dream and I had it be a little bubble with a pony in it. And I was like, oh. I think the interesting thing with this though is that I feel like the doors thing was more of Luna's. It was more of Luna's perspective on what the dreams were like, and this is Celestia's version of what the dreams would look like.
So basically,
like an internal type of like, oh, this is what the dream realm must look like. You know what I mean? Like her putting projecting her idea of what it is onto the realm, which is possible because it's a dream realm, so you can do whatever you want.
Which is also understandable because of the way that Celestia did the whole, Twilight's you're being ascended. This is the ethereal plane sort of thing.
Yeah, like how she does that with
being
that.
Ascended. That's just what she believes it looks like. So therefore, that's what it is.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That was something I was going to comment earlier, but I totally forgot until just now. So I was like, hey, I thought that was nice. It was a nice little like, this might be how Celestia would envision the dream realm to look like. Because again, somebody commented in the React that it was supposed to be doors. I think it was Alex who said that. I thought it was doors, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's probably because it's Celestia that it's not doors. Yeah. So that was my thought on that. I liked that the color of the magic changed as well. Like between the cutie mark thing. I liked that it was sort of like a subtle projection of introvert versus extrovert with that, just because Luna is not used to interacting with so many people, and it would wear somebody out that's not used to that at all completely. The extrovert in Celestia would get nervous at being alone a lot, and because of how she normally handles her bustle in her regular day, she'd cheer herself up and say, all right, we still got to keep going. I still got to keep going. I just feel like those were like little subtle character things that were really nice to see. I haven't read the comics, so I should probably do that. But in itself, I liked it, the way that they held it together. I'm trying to think of what else I was going to talk about.
Weeping angels are real.
Weeping angels. That was a nice little background moment. Yeah.
Daybreaker, his best nightmare form.
Daybreaker was really. I liked they gave her like a really big crown looking thing. Like it took up a lot of her headspace. Like it was huge. The design was really interesting to me. The fact that it was Starlight Glimmer's nightmare, what she perceived that Celestia would look like if she went baddie. I thought that was interesting, and it played really well into how Starlight tends to project a lot of stuff onto herself, where she's like, yes, because I didn't handle this as appropriately as I probably should have, you guys have become these evil personas of your godlike selves and are now fighting. Like I feel like that would just be because that like anxiety that like anxiety Starlight has that I've seen in previous ones, like especially with the like what was the name of that episode? Every Little Thing She Does, I think.
The brainwashing one.
The brainwashing episode, yes, where she was more focused on doing the activity well, that it sort of caused her to have this little panic as she kept going and brainwash everybody and then trying to go from there. Like focusing on the activity as opposed to the interaction with the person is what caused that anxiety. But like
she's a lot like Twilight. When she freaks out over getting things done.
Yeah, and then
though I think
it feels more like it's focused on the social aspect than the actual activity. Like her social anxiety is what's causing a lot of this. Like she had become sort of emboldened to talk more with people in general, or with ponies in general, like as we've been going, because she's had Twilight to confide in and sort of like be a lead. And so hearing her dismay at certain things that Starlight's going to do, she gets really nervous. And I feel like Twilight's input on that sort of helped perpetuate the fear that appeared in the nightmare, that she caused some sort of a, what did you call it? Equestrian War, Civil War 2, Equestrian War 2. But I feel like
I just want to say
really well with that.
World War 3.
World War 3. Just call it a World War 3.
But we can't say World War 3.
I think one of like the biggest differences between Starlight and Twilight is that Twilight has anxiety over what could happen, whereas Starlight has anxiety over what has happened, especially what she has done.
Yes, exactly. With Sunburst being like, she's like, oh, I haven't talked to him, and all of this stuff that I have done since then. Oh my god! Like.
Time to start a new town and force everyone to lose their
everything right. Starlight worries that she won't.
It's
worries like that what she hasn't done is
already failing.
Yeah, that she's already failed, and that's something that I related to that really, really heavily because I do that all the time. Starlight, Starlight's pretty much.
I do both.
I've related to Starlight a lot in these reacts, actually. Like, if you went back and watched all the Starlight ones, I'll just be like, I do that too. But yeah, I feel like that was conveyed really, really well. And just overall, I really liked the episode. And that's my final thoughts.
All right.
There we go. Close the book.
All right. But yeah, just to sort of comment off that Starlight thing is, I feel they are they more or less are following the advice. I think we all pretty much were saying last season, where like the way to use Starlight is to not like just have her be like one that solves an opening and closing thing, be like big important. Then the best way to use her is this user throughout the season in little small like slice of life roles, and that's what they're doing, and it's really working this season.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's pretty good.
But going on my own thoughts, I'd say going off what Second said earlier about like giving like a grade, I would say this is probably a B+ for me or a A-. Like overall as a episode, but it didn't feel that well put together. Like it didn't feel balanced is a good way, just because the Luna side of it, not Luna herself, but like the sort of the execution of that side, I feel didn't properly show like Luna's struggles at trying to approach Celestia's day-to-day life. Again, this is part of this might just be the comic for me, where like it did very similar subject matter, but made it actually make sense more. Where like here, it's like, oh, she can't cut a ribbon with the scissors, like really. But I feel on the other overall, like there wasn't. The Celestia side was very well done. Like it really got the idea that like, oh, this is what happens when an extrovert has to do a job by herself. It's like, yeah, like it's very stressful for her. It makes sense. Like, yeah, that actually was a very good showing of what happens when you have an extrovert do an introvert's job. Like that was very well done. And like overall the dream sequence I felt was good. The moral I felt could have been a little better handled, especially because I don't want the moral to be always trust your gut with Starlight. Yeah. But again, I felt like overall, like this is a good episode, just not as well balanced. But I'm trying to think of like who's writer. I think they did this before.
Joey Lewis and Christine Sonko, our season editors, as it so happens.
Yeah, so this is a scene of them. So yeah, like overall good. I was just trying to figure out if this was another new person because there's so many new freaking writers this season. Yeah, like overall, I would say A- B+ episode where like it's good, and it's not as balanced as I feel it could be. Very uncanny valley with the Luna comic. But yeah, I guess see you all next week then, or next day.
Next time.
See you in your nightmares. Next time on Game Grumps.
Hopefully, I'll be in your path.